SoapCalc is a great tool for home soap makers, but how does it actually work? This video is designed for beginners. It will show the basics of SoapCalc. My aim is to give you the confidence to use this tool, and hopefully inspire you to experiment with soap making. Enjoy! So first things first, SoapCalc can be found at soapcalc.net, or if you just Google it, usually this is the first one that comes up. There are a few different ones, but this is the one that most people use. And from here, I'm just going to use the recipe calculator. And I think a great place to start is with a base recipe that someone else has already tried out and that you know works. So the one that I started out with and inspired me originally to make my own soap is Royalty Soaps, and I will link her video down below. She gives this recipe away for free and it's super simple. It's 3 oils and it's really beginner friendly and it's hard to get wrong. I've never had it sort of seize up or anything like that, so I think this is a great recipe to start with. So what I'm going to do is copy these bits into the soap calculator. So she uses sodium hydroxide and she helpfully has it in pounds, ounces and grams. I'm going to go with grams. It's my favourite way to weigh things. Obviously here in the UK we have a weird mix of grams and pounds depending on what you're weighing, but use whatever you're familiar with and makes sense to you. So on here we have the total weight of oils down here at just over a kilo, so I'm going to pop that up here. And water as a percentage of oils she also has up here at 27.49. And super fat is 5% and fragrance oil ratio of 1. So I'm just going to leave that. Fragrance oil doesn't matter too much. It's in here, it's at grams because I've selected grams and hers is in ounces. So I'm not going to calculate that just yet, but the main reason for using SoapCalc is to work out the bulk of your oils. And again, I'm just going to copy her recipe into here for now, so I know that it has 3 oils, which are coconut oil and I believe castor oil and olive oil. So we'll find the castor oil and add it to our recipe, and then we scroll down and find olive oil, and then we click here to add that to our recipe. And now you can either put in the amount of grams that you want to use or the percentage. It's really easy. You put in what you know and it will tell you what you don't know. So I'm going to go with the percentages here because they're pretty straightforward. So it's 75% olive oil, 5% castor oil and 20% coconut oil. And then I'm just going to click here for calculate recipe. And as you can see, that has populated all the boxes over here. And the main thing that I look for, and I think is what most people use this for, are these boxes up here. These are the properties in the end result of the soap, and a lot of people maybe will aim for a particularly bubbly soap, or a particularly conditioning soap, or a very creamy soap. And here's where you can sort of play with them and figure out which oils do what. I would say the easiest way is to Google the one that you want. So if you want a really bubbly soap, you can just Google which oils are good for making a soap bubbly, and you'll find a bunch of answers, and they're almost guaranteed to be on this list. This recipe again only uses 3 oils, but coconut oil is a bit of a champion when it comes to soap. It adds to it being bubbly, it adds to hardness, and it adds to cleansing. The castor oil will add to the creaminess of the bar, and the olive oil will add to the conditioning. So theoretically, if I change this, we should see that reflected in here. So I am just going to take a snip of our existing stats, and then I will change it so we have, let's take down coconut oil to 5 and we'll put this one up to 20 instead. Let's swap those two round and we'll see what difference it makes. And I'll put these side by side, and we can see. So as I said, coconut oil adds to hardness, and we can see that the hardness has gone all the way from 29 down to 17. The cleansing has gone down quite a lot from 13 to 3, but we know that coconut oil is also good for cleansing. What the castor oil is good for is creaminess, and we can see that that's gone from 20 up to 31. You can see that it's adjusted all of these. With each of these, there is a threshold that you want to stay within, really, to end up with a quality soap at the end that is functional, and I'll put those thresholds on the screen now. But it's just a rough guide. You can slightly push the boundaries on these, but I would say for a beginner, try to stay with it. Another useful part of the SoapCalc is this recipe, for example, makes just over a kilo or just over 1.5 kilos of soap. What if I don't want to use 1 kilo of oils? What if I want to, scale up and I want 8 kilos of oils? So I'll change this to 8,000, calculate it, and it will tell me the new amounts in grams that I need of each oil. And we can do it the other way too. So maybe I just want a small batch, 250 grams, it's just for personal use. We can calculate that, and again, we don't need to do the maths ourselves, it does it for us. One use that I've personally found for SoapCalc, one of my friends is quite allergic to nuts, so she gets quite a reaction if she uses them, and a lot of my recipes had some kind of nut oil in. Things that I don't think about, almond oil for example, is in a lot of soaps, and it's quite hard for her to avoid out in the wild in the shops, so she asked if there's any way that I could make her something that her skin wouldn't react to. So on here, if I had, my olive oil and I wanted to substitute it out for something, I could Google what oil is a good substitute for olive oil, find this in here, and I would probably need to adjust the percentages a little bit just so that I get the end result that I want. But this allowed me to trial and error a few allergen-free soaps without having to do it myself and use the ingredients, lose the ingredients, and possibly not come up with the end result that I wanted. So this is a good way of testing things out without having to actually physically do that. So as you can see, the oil list here is pretty extensive. I personally haven't really found an oil that's not on there, but if you do, all you have to do is Google which oil is the oil that you found like, and the similar oils will be on here and they'll have similar end results. But as you can see, there's rabbit fat, I saw emu oil on here, so I would be very surprised if the oil that you wanted to use and you had available to you isn't on this list. Now, if you're like me, this looked quite daunting to start with when you are a beginner and you don't really know much about how the oils interact with each other and which oils do what. But this is a great way to learn. If you wanted to, you could go through and find all the oils that you are potentially using, add them to your recipe and see what effects it has on these stats over here. It also has this handy function that it prints your recipe to a PDF, so you can print it out and even have it there while you're weighing out the oils. You can give it a recipe name and things like that, and this makes it super simple if you are wanting to get your soap actually assessed. This will help give you all the information you need for that assessment. It might look quite complicated, but really this is making things a lot simpler. You only really need to know a few basics to get started, and if you use someone else's base recipe, you don't have to use the royalty soap ones. There are a bunch of base recipes online, and I think SoapCalc might even give you a few beginner recipes buried somewhere in their website. It's really simple, then just have to play around with it. I could remove all of these oils and just put some random ones in and see what comes out of it. Or maybe you have some leftover goose fat and you want to know what to mix it with to make a good soap. So I hope this video has been useful and it's made this look a little bit less daunting. If you do have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll either make a follow-up video or just reply to you in the comments if I can help. Also, let me know if you have any alternate SoapCalcs that you use, but I think this one is pretty simple once you get sort of grips with it. And starting with a base recipe really does help and can improve your confidence in putting together some soap recipes in the future. So I hope you have fun, let me know what you make with this, and I hope to see you again soon.